What's up, everybody? BioBen here, back with another drive vlog. I think this is number 3. I wanted to talk today about kind of two things that will make sense but are very disparate when you hear them initially. So I wanted to talk about how you play games, and especially things like open world games, and then why I race with AI in sim racing games. I know a lot of people like human competitors. I like racing against humans too, but sometimes I'm not always like the most cutthroat individual. So sometimes I don't like racing humans because I don't always like competition that much. But there's another reason why I race AI, and it has to do with time, which kind of brings me to the open world thing. So I was thinking back recently, I started playing The Witcher 3 again, because I've been on a little bit of a fantasy kick, and I noticed that I still go back to that open world mentality of gotta go everywhere, gotta look at every crate, gotta open every chest, do that. As I get older, I don't have enough time to do that, right? So I'm missing out on the story of the game to do mundane tasks. So I'm trying to like shift my play style there. And I mean, this comes back to in college, I got introduced into the Elder Scrolls and Fallout 3. You know, I had time to do that, and it was enjoyable. I enjoy that, right? Like, it's, if you enjoy something, do it. It doesn't matter if it seems silly to other people. But yeah, so as you get older, you have less time, and my life is fairly busy. I mean, I don't have any children or anything like that, but you know, I have a functional relationship and a job and family, you know, extended family and things like this, and so I don't have a lot of time to race. And also creating on YouTube, I like to put some effort into the things I put out in videos, and do like historical pieces, and you know, talk about the history of things, details, you know, doing these track guides. It's really fun. I have to decide, am I going to spend my time racing, like racing online, or am I going to spend my time, you know, not racing quite as much, but making something out of that? And I tend to do the latter. I enjoy racing. Like I said, I enjoy competition, but I'm not the most competitive person. Like, I don't have to be first. And some of that's, you know, a personal issue with not wanting to be realize that I'm, you know, whatever, not as good as I think I am, or something like that. But that's a whole other issue. But online racing tends to be very formulaic, and it takes a lot of time to the amount of racing you get. You might say, well, the quality's better. That's up to you. I'm a very eclectic person, so I like to do random things all the time. Suddenly I'll have a mood and I'll be like, I want to race vintage cars, and to go online and find a group of people that's willing to do that at a high level is very difficult. I also don't necessarily always enjoy doing the same thing over and over again, so I don't want to race GT3 cars around the Red Bull Ring day in, day out. And some places like Project Cars 2 tend to be that way. And that's just, it's boring to me. Same with like an 8-lap race or a 5-lap race. Not really what I'm looking to do. I like to do endurance races with friends or solo, or I like to do, you know, specific, like, hey, ELMS is coming up or whatever, so I'm gonna jump in a prototype and do a few laps. I just enjoy the driving as well, not even necessarily the racing itself. Sometimes just the feel of driving a car and being precise and things like that is enjoyable. So as I get older, I have to decide, do I do online racing or do I race AI? And AI is a bit of a dirty word in sim racing. People look down on it if you race AI. In some ways, that's understandable. AI aren't humans, so you're not really pitting yourself against a real opponent. But in another way, they're actually quite ruthless. Sometimes they run different physics. They make far fewer mistakes. So they can be more ruthless than real opponents as well. And so it's just a different style of competition. And you still have to be quick, and you still need to use your skills. One of the things that AI brings, and why I think it's important, is that pick up and play ability that, frankly, busy adults, professional adults need. If I come home and I have 30 minutes to do something, I can't be sitting around in a lobby waiting for 20 of those. I want to jump in and start going, and the ability to pause a race as well when you're doing a single solo race is also very handy. Life throws things at you. If you need to stop suddenly and want to pick up later, that's a real responsibility. I know some people will be like, well, you're not a real sim racer then, or you're not dedicated enough. Well, okay, yeah, I guess that's maybe true, but right, it's a hobby ultimately, so I don't think you shouldn't be sacrificing your life or important things just to do a sim race. If you want to schedule your life around sim racing, that's cool. If that's your thing, go for it. That's awesome. I love that. I wish I could do that. Unfortunately, I choose not to. I could, but I choose not to because there's too many other things in life to do, right? Life's very short, and I would love to do some of these competitive races, but at the moment, the way my life is, I don't have the opportunity to do that. I would like to schedule some more community style races. Those are very fun, and try and work that out. But also, I like to go outside and go hiking or do things outside with my significant other, and that time is more important to me because as you start to get older, you'll start to lose people, and you realize you don't get that back. So yeah, if I had online sim racing when I was younger, like back when I was first getting into it, I'd been all over it. I spent all kinds of time doing that, like online MMORPGs, things like this. But these days, I don't have that time, so I'm not able to do it. Does that hinder me with YouTube? Like, obviously, yeah. You can tell people want to see online races, and it's interesting. People will ask, is this online or offline? Like, the race is going to be better or worse, maybe? I don't know. There's a stigma against offline racing with AI, right? That I think is somewhat unjustified. You can have a good race with AI. I've had many. But yeah, you can also have really boring races online where you're either trolling around at the back or, the field is so spread and there's only 10 people. That comes to another thing, right? Like with AI, you can pick up, like just at the spur of the moment, and have a grid of 30 cars or 50 cars or whatever you want, and race hard and have traffic and things like this, which is much more difficult to do in an online, competitive multiplayer race. Sometimes you'll get big grids, but a lot of times, it's 10 cars, and if it's 10 cars on the Nordschleife, you're never going to see anyone. So I don't know, the entertainment value might be kind of but sometimes it's nice to see another car. So I think what we should be doing is not shunning racing AI, nor single player. In fact, I think we should be embracing that. It's a great training tool. It gives you a chance to learn how to race in a less stress environment. If you make mistakes, it doesn't impact other real people. That's another thing. If I'm just hopping in, I've had a long day or whatever, clearly I'm not going to be at my peak performance, and I'm probably going to blow some braking zones and hit someone, or tap someone or something like that. I really don't want that to be a real person. I don't want to ruin their race. Maybe they've been practicing for hours, or things like that. So when I do race online, I do treat it seriously, because ultimately it's other people's time as well. So AI is really important to me, and if you're a racing sim developer or thinking about it, or a modder, don't forget about AI. There's a significant, probably not as vocal, population of people that race AI, and poor AI really ruins a product, more so than I think we like to admit. And there's an important aspect of like multi-class racing too. Having AI in multi-class racing is very important. Having traffic or having faster cars makes the racing more interesting. So that's why when Yuri and I do endurance races, we go for big grids. We like to have that challenge of overtaking and dealing with things. So yeah, AI might not make moves that are always realistic, but one of the skills as a driver that everybody needs to have is you need to read your opponents and understand where they're going to do things and why they're going to do things. So if you approach sim racing from like a purely realistic racing standpoint, AI might seem weird. They might make weird moves. But when you sit back and think about it, hey, I need to analyze what they're doing and why they're doing it, and then predict what they're going to do. Are they going to try to overtake me here? How can I signal to them that they can overtake? Or, where can I overtake this slower car safely and it's not going to turn in on me, or things like this. I think with AI, we also tend to make moves because we know they're AI that we wouldn't make on human players, and then we blame the AI. I'm guilty of that all the time, going for the overtake when clearly I should have waited a little bit longer. So I think they get a bit of a bad rap. They're very consistent, which is always nice. So pretty much what they're gonna do most of the time. So yeah, if you develop AI, I have a lot of sympathy for you. I know it's a difficult job, but we shouldn't forget about it, and we shouldn't kind of ridicule people for racing against AI, particularly when we have so many options out there of cars we can be driving and circuits we can be driving. Sometimes people just want to do what they want to do, and maybe that's very niche. That's the best part about sim racing. You can go to some really obscure track, and if you want to throw a bunch of cars in there and go race them, that's awesome. That's the beauty of it, right? You don't need to wait around and try and find 10 people that can meet up. Also, have some sympathy for us that live in non-optimal time zones, right? Like, I'm on the west coast of the US, so when I get home from work, everybody pretty much on the East Coast and in Europe is asleep. So it's difficult for me to find the kind of racing that I'm interested in doing at that time. So either I have to wake up really early in the morning, or I just don't get to do it because I can't leave work at noon. A lot of the leagues will race like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it ends up being about noon my time. And I can't leave work to go race. So yeah, kind of wanted to splurge something about AI there. I know it's less sexy than like real online races, and iRacing is big. And if you're into competition, that's cool. I'm down with that. More power to you. The reason I don't do it is I just don't have time. If you think that's stupid, or that I'm not committed, or that somebody else is more interesting, well, that's a choice I've made, right? And that's fine. That's more power to you. You know, I envy the professional sim racers. They get to do it professionally. Obviously, they have to perform professionally, which is added pressure and things like that. But to be able to make a living out of that would be awesome. If I had more time in my life, I'd love to get into competitive sim racing. I think I'm pretty much at a level technically with all of them that I could do it. But I just don't have the time. Again, I want to organize some more community races. We did our one Clio Cup race. That was a lot of fun. But, you know, it's hard to schedule those things. Hopefully here in the winter, as, you know, going outside kind of cools off, I'll have a little more time on the weekends. And I'll try to get one weekend a month maybe where we can do it. I know it's not very frequent, but that's kind of the level of commitment that I think I could do. Maybe if we get it running really slick and smooth, we could do more. But yeah, I think, you know, we have to use our time wisely, I guess was kind of the thing. And AI allows me to use my time as wisely as I can. Doesn't always necessarily produce the most compelling product, I guess, but I try to make content that works around that, rather than, you know, just saying, oh, well, I can't do it or whatever, you know. So yeah, anyways, that's another one of these done. This is good. This helped my drive go fast. I like these. Maybe think of some more things to talk about, and do another one here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Remember, join us on Discord. Leave a comment below if you like this. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel, although if you made it this far, you're probably subscribed. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.